Hey everyone, this is Kit Cabello with Chicago Corner. Welcome so much. I gotta say, before we get started with our show, I really love the intro to Chicago Corner. It reminds me of the opening, or these that during the light commercial breaks of the early 2000s of Adult Swim, the speed bumps that they would used to do, and that is just so freaking awesome. Love the intro, love that countdown, but that song intro showing our wonderful city, the city of Chicago, my hometown. I love it. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that's joining us. We got Miguel H., Big Mr. Fireburn. We got E. Heller manning the board as being our moderator and doing so much other good stuff as well. We got a great show. Welcome to Chicago Corner. I'm filling in for Jerry Vasilatos, but Jerry will be joining me as my co-host very soon. He is recovering, and I want everyone to be sure to send him the best wishes because he's getting better. Oh, hey, Jerry.
Did you say co-host?
Yes, you're co-host now. I'm running the show. I'm the captain.
You're in the captain seat now?
I am El Capitano, so that's what I'm doing. So there we go.
I feel like Admiral Kirk in the first Star Trek movie when they assigned Captain Decker to the Enterprise, just wondering when I'm going to get my command back.
Oh man, yeah. Or either that. And look, I know this movie gets a lot of hate, but Star Trek Generations, where he's on the Enterprise B. And he kind of stands up because he wants to take command, but he can't.
Oh, yeah. Generation. Yeah, oh, my God. He's just
that's a scene right there. That
wants to jump in. Well, that's why I'm here tonight. I figured, I'm feeling a little bit better. I finally was able to get a shirt on today. I've literally been living at home for 2 weeks shirtless because my arm's in a sling and I'm not supposed to bend it, but it's a little bit more flexible. So I was able to put a shirt on, and I wanted to, join you guys tonight and thank you for covering things while I've been on the mend. And as far as the show intro goes, thank you. Casey, our videographer, did a great job covering Chicago, and we really lucked out finding that public domain music that has become synonymous with the show now. It's it's mellow, and it just kind of gives you a sense of going through the city and checking out all the familiar sites, discovering the new ones. It all really works well. So I'm glad that you enjoy it too.
Yeah, and here's the thing. There's always some secret gems that you can find. Recently, when my relatives were still here, I got some relatives coming in later today too. So my whole house has been busy. I got family members visiting me and going back and forth. But nonetheless, I actually found this wonderful little store that sells Japanese sake, beer, wine, and even whiskey. And as some of our viewers may know, in 2019, I left to visit. I left Chicago to visit Japan. I was there for 5 weeks, and I just gotta say, I fell in love with the country. I just love that place, and so I was really happy to find this one little store and I'm actually gonna be checking it out sometime this weekend to buy a nice bottle of Japanese whiskey. I got 3 bottles at the house right now.
That's your big thing is Japanese liqueurs. I've never had any, Kit. Maybe when I'm able to get out of this house and I can't come out for the holiday party tomorrow night, but I'm looking forward to getting together live with everybody when I'm walking and able to get to a bar. I'd love to sample some. I'll let you be my guide.
Yeah, dude, the place where they where I went to, they actually have wine tasting and whiskey events. It's really awesome. I have to say I'm really happy I found this gem. But that's the whole thing about living in the city of Chicago. But I think enough waffling. I think we've talked enough. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you back. Back in the comm, but I'm not in the
comm. You've got the comm. Take the helm, Captain. Take us out.
All right. Welcome. See, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm a fan of the Cisco. Everyone says Captain Picard or Captain Kirk. I'm Cisco. I'm with Captain Cisco. And for a lot of reasons, I'm with Captain Cisco. So there we go.
I like the grittiness of that show, but I have a personal connection with Kirk because I share the same birthday as William Shatner. So March 22nd, which is really cool. I only discovered that I think when I was way into being a Star Trek fan. I don't know. I know he can be kind of a douche sometimes, I've heard in real life, but there's something about the Shat that we can all admire for the way that he was. He heroically inspired us growing up watching TV into doing the right thing in Star Trek.
I'm with Cisco because he punched Q, and that was great. That was great. I saw him do that. I stood up as a kid and I applauded. I was and then I of course during the lockdown, during 2020, I was binge watching Deep Space Nine, and you know what? I saw that scene again, and I stood up and I applauded. That was great. It was just great. Anyways, let's get started with our first segment. And this is a story that really hits home for Hard Lens Media and the early iterations of Chicago Corner. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, way back in the early days of Hard Lens Media, dare I say it, maybe even the idea of Chicago Corner was in our minds, Daniel and I. We did a lot of groundwork, field reporting, which is something we want to do, but because of YouTube censorship and the way it demonetized us, we're really hindered. So it's like it really sucks. But we were doing this way early on. We were still trying to figure out how things work and do things with YouTube. We were interviewing a lot of activists, community organizers, people who were trying to bring in change. And one of these people was a person who went by the name of Byron Sigel Lopez, who is an activist with Pilsen Alliance, doing some phenomenal work, shining a light on how gentrification is impacting Southside communities. In Pilsen alone, 10,000 people have been displaced because of gentrification, most notably under Rahm Emanuel's mayoral administration, but also it's still continuing on. But the sad fact is that, when people try to do good, they're still smeared by the establishment and by those in power. And I was happy to have interviewed Byron Sigel Lopez when he was an activist, when he was running as a candidate for the alderman of in the Pilsen district, but also, by the way, again, alderman of the 25th ward. Apologies for that. My apologies. The 25th ward. When he was running for the 25th ward, and I actually had a chance to interview him afterwards when he won his election in 2019. He had the support of a lot of activist groups and organizers, and he's been consistent. He's one of the few people who's, dare I say it, cares about the city of Chicago, and he's an alderman, which is a foreign concept to anyone that lives in the city of Chicago. He even got a round of applause at a Jimmy Dore event. I will never forget this. Before COVID, he got a round of applause by Jimmy Dore. He was there at the Jimmy Dore in 2019. He stood up. He asked, "Hey, what's the name of the alderman?" I think he's coming to my event. Daniel and I gave him his name. He stood up. The whole audience was cheering for him.
Well,
and
he's authentic, kid. People know he's one of the good guys. He's constantly stood up and been on the right side of every issue that I've seen him speak out on. And I know you interviewed him. I know that Ali Alexandra had interviewed him when she was hosting. I mean, I think we can kind of call him a friend of the show. I've never met him or interviewed him, but I hope as we go into this next mayoral election cycle and we're talking to more candidates or influencers here in the city of Chicago, I'll have an opportunity to interview him also. But he's from everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, he's the real deal. And I wish we had more council members like him.
I wish we had more people like him too. He's been consistent. He's been on point, and we're really glad to at least have somebody who cares about Chicago. But the thing is, when you do good, you're still smeared by those in power. And Mayor Lori Lightfoot described
Can I add one thing here? Isn't it interesting to be smeared by the mayor with the thinnest skin in recent political history? Anytime you bring something up about Lightfoot, what is it? Oh, you said that about me because I'm a black lesbian and I'm a woman. I'm a female lesbian black woman running the city of Chicago. That's why you're criticizing me. If anybody uses the deflection of identity politics, it's Lightfoot. And as we hear what you're about to share with us, I can't help but comment on the irony and the hypocrisy of what you're about to share.
Well, it doesn't surprise me about Mayor Lightfoot at this point. She cannot take criticism. And so I'm going to be surprised if she actually does have the audacity of running for mayor in 2023. With that being said, let's talk about this. This is an article from Chicago Block Club. They do a phenomenal work, as always. Mayor Lori Lightfoot described Alderman Byron Sigel Lopez as a jackass. Newly reviewed text show, as the alderman said, it's unacceptable for elected officials to use names and dismiss constituents. So, Mayor Lightfoot, you can't take criticism, but you can criticize other people as well.
Hey, Kit there. I think we're only allowed on YouTube to say jack wagon.
Well, nonetheless, I think it's important to say,
because they will take our entire universe down if we keep saying the bottom word.
Pegleg, don't worry. There's no universe for them to take down. We're not monetized. We're a little blip on the radar. So I concur
okay.
with
we
Kit,
make
we
some
can use jackass.
But I am going to continue on.
Yes,
Lightfoot's texts were published last week by the Chicago Tribune's Gregory Pratt that showed that during a conversation with Alderman Nicholas Sapanto of 38th Ward in May of 2020, Sapanto texted Lightfoot, Shitso is an a-hole, an apparent reference to Cincho Lopez, which is, again, an insult to his name. And she went on to say, there are no words for that jackass. Lightfoot texted back. The exchange was among other examples highlighted by the Tribune of Lightfoot using obscenity and insults to describe her fellow officials. Mayor Lightfoot, you ran on the idea of actually working with city council and actually bringing in change. And you're smearing one of the greatest activists, one of the few activists that actually has been consistent and fighting for his ward, which is a foreign concept in Chicago because we rarely see aldermen actually give a damn about their constituents. Continuing on, the exchange was among other examples highlighted, let me continue on. This is a quote from Byron Cincho Lopez. It's inappropriate for elected officials to resort to name-calling. He said, leaders need to step up and address real problems. We need planning, coordination, and collaboration. The mayor's staff didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Of course, no surprise, because they'll never comment. At an unrelated news conference Monday, Mayor Lightfoot dismissed questions about her text messages telling reporters she's focused on the things that are important to the people. Name one thing that you've done to the people. There's still lead in Chicago's drinking water. People are still being displaced from their homes. Gentrification's running amok, Mayor Lightfoot. What are you going to do about the TIF funds, Mayor Lightfoot? You ran on so much and you're delivering so little. Continuing on, she goes on to say, like responding to the pandemic and rising crime, which again, Mayor Lightfoot just doesn't know how to handle. Lightfoot and Cincho Lopez have had multiple public disputes over various issues, most recently over the resolution honoring Adam Toledo, the young boy who was murdered. Let's call it what it is. He was murdered.
He was murdered. Someone also promised that they were going to get rid of all the traffic cameras that are taking money away from people in our hardest hit neighborhoods. What did she do? She decided to change the speed time so they can collect more, steal more money from our residents.
Yeah, and of course the thing is too. There's a Pilsen Tavern that Byron Cincho Lopez wants to shut down as well because again, Pilsen has been dealing with a lot of gentrification in that community. As I said before, 10,000 people have been displaced because of gentrification. And the thing is, my question is to Mayor Lightfoot. You expect people to respect you. You expect to build a coalition. How is it that you're going to build a coalition with activists, organizers, and the people if you talk down to them and belittle them? See,
Kit, I would go even further. You know how much time we spent covering Alderman Jim Gardner, the other villain, Alderman. What was Pegleg calling him? Aldermort.
Yes, somebody say Aldermort.
This guy, and we've held him to scrutiny and said the guy should step down. His texts leaked, and we saw how much disrespect he had for his fellow council members as well as residents in his own neighborhoods. And Lightfoot was very upfront and public about her criticism about Alderman Jim Gardner. So I think that live by the sword, die by the sword. I think that Lightfoot should be held to exactly the same kind of scrutiny and accountability as we wanted put on Gardner. Period.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Lightfoot is kind of a Harry Potter-esque name already.
The thing is, looking at Mayor Lightfoot and her campaign that she ran in 2019, there was a whole clown card of candidates there. There was only maybe 2 individuals that I'll pick out that were exceptional but were denied. One of them was Jamal Green, ran a strong campaign, but of course, because there were so many candidates there, he was silenced out. And then there was Troy Lavrier, who dropped out way early on, but it's somebody who, mind you, I saw one of his campaign commercials about Rahm Emanuel, which was on point. And Jerry, if I do find it, the same thing to you, Peg Leg. If I do find it, I'll be sure to send you guys a video because it was on point. But Mayor Lightfoot ran in with his campaign, promising to bring in change for the people of Chicago. But all we got is more of the same. This is the same. At this point, I might as well call this Rahm Emanuel's mayoral administration 3.0. This is what I'm looking at.
She's Rahm Lightfoot.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, Rahm Lightfoot.
Rahm Lightfoot.
Rahm Lightfoot. That's what they expect from this
Rahm
mayor.
Light with the foot.
This is the same mayor who's now telling small business owners, "Hey, you're kind of on your own, or you got to buzz in people." Can you imagine if you own a small retail business and you have to buzz in customers, or either that a retail worker now has to decide, or either that the owner has to decide, like, do I let this person in or not? I mean, that's a whole other can of worms that I don't even want to think about, because my goodness, you're putting small business owners in a lose situation. Mayor Lightfoot, what are you doing?
And you reported on it Tuesday also the fact that I think it's Bucktown, they're now hiring private security because they can't rely on CPD or the city to follow through with the necessary amounts of boots on the street to help protect that community.
And the thing is, with the private security, Mayor Lightfoot, what happens when somebody is wrongly profiled, or God forbid, somebody loses their life, an innocent person loses their life, or something else happens, Mayor Lightfoot? Where are you at in all of this? Look, I get that. Here's the thing. I get that Chicago has violence. I know it, all right? We hear it enough from Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. But there are good people in the city of Chicago, and sadly, we have elected officials that aren't helping us out. Maybe if we actually had elected officials that would, I don't know, talk about using the TIF funds, investing in communities. There's only a few people that I can name of, such as the 6 progressives that are right now in city council, one of them being Alderman Byron Ciclo Lopez of the 25th Ward, who's trying to do all this, but yet him and his 5 other colleagues are alone in this, which is why, again, we want to build this channel up so we can get more people involved about what's going to happen in 2023, so that maybe, I don't know, heaven forbid, we can elect more people that will actually give a damn about Chicago. Maybe get us a mayor that's going to help this city out. Because right now, the action that we're seeing from Mayor Lightfoot is something what you would see from an elementary school student or a high school student. But the sad fact is, even elementary school students and high school students have more maturity than this freaking mayor.
Well, I would go one step further, Kit. I think that as we watch her shirk her responsibility and accountability and tell the retailers to buzz people in, express her concern with what's happening in Bucktown without actually offering any solutions. Look, everybody knows I'm no fan of our previous mayor Rahm, or even a Daley before him. But could you imagine? What she's suggesting is unprecedented. No mayor, no mayor previous to her would ever shirk that kind of responsibility and then put it basically in the laps of the shop owners or the residents in Bucktown to have to rely on private security or buzzing people in because she is so ill-equipped to figure out how to lead and solve this problem.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's a lot to dismiss about Rahm Emanuel. There's a lot to call into question about former Mayor Daley.
Of course. No, they were both, they were both horrible mayors. Who could imagine that she could take it a step worse in different ways, though? Yeah. I don't know that she's quite as bad as Rahm yet. Given how he covered up the Ron McDonald execution. It was no shooting, it was an execution. But she's getting there. She's pushing the boundaries of.
Wait, she's close to the finish line.
She's close to the finish line. Yeah.
There we go. That's what to expect. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that Byron Ciclo Lopez is at least able to handle it in a mature manner, and we do invite him to be on our show. And of course, as we build this channel up, and we ask more people to help us build this channel up, so it is able to fund itself, but also push forward in covering electoral politics in 2023, because that's a whole thing. We want to build this channel up so that we are ready to do on-the-ground reporting, cover events, and so much more. Chicago Corner is going to be that channel that you'll want to tune in to find out about Chicago politics, because this city, yes, it has problems. I get it. I from all the critics who don't like Chicago, I understand. But this is still a city with good people. And one of these few people is actually Alderman Byron Ciclo Lopez, who actually cares about his constituents. And I think there are a lot more people like him that actually want to get into office and actually fight for a better future. But sadly, we have a mayor that is so arrogant. So we got to elect her out. She's got to go. All right, we are going to move. We are going to move on now to our next story. And let's go ahead and pull this up. This has to deal with something that you might find it funny at first, but it's kind of really relevant and important. Public restrooms are hard to find in Chicago, and some older people want to change that with a pilot program, which I have to say, great. This is awesome.
What took so long?
Yeah, because here's the thing. In a city, obviously when you go shopping at stores, whatever, there are going to be some restrooms here and there, but sometimes, the public is not allowed to use it, or you have to buy something already.
But you know what, though, Kit? I wonder why they haven't actually passed any kind of a law or an ordinance to help. I mean, look, I think this is a great initiative that you're going to present to us. But even without this initiative, there should be some public policy that instructs and coerces retail store owners to allow people to use their bathrooms. Because I'll frequent a place, and even if I'm not shopping there and I happen to go and they won't let me use their restroom, I won't ever go there again when I do need to shop. It's an assault on the basic dignity of people that have to go when they got to go. Remember in what was it, The Godfather, McCluskey, that police officer who was in the restaurant with Michael, and when you got to go, you got to go. It's essentially what it comes down to. And when store owners, no, you can't use it because you're not shopping here. It's just like, I've seen videos online. I saw a video online once of this woman who decided when they wouldn't let her use the restroom, someone got it on their camera and it went viral. She squatted right there in front of the Popeyes counter and urinated on the floor. And it was the most disgusting thing to see. But on the other hand, I'm just like, you know what? You go, girl. They should have let you use the restroom. I know that that's horrible and that's foul and that's vile, but when they literally like take your dignity away from letting you use a restroom like that, I feel like, well, at least in that case, I was just like, yeah, fine, give it back to them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. People have accidents or emergencies, and, especially think about those people who are disabled or the elderly or even little kids who...
Or homeless people.
Yeah, or homeless people too. I think it's important that we have dignity and respect, and
treat everybody with that dignity and respect.
Yep. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I don't want to ever hear the excuse like, "Oh, well, it'll be a disaster" or anything else. Look, I've seen I've been in foreign countries where there are public restrooms. Take for example, Japan. There are public restrooms there.
And I've been in stores.
Now, these are 100% clean and really well maintained. I have to give them that. Like,
I've been in public. I've been in stores or businesses where they do have that sign up that they won't allow other people to use the restrooms unless they're a customer. And many of those restrooms are still dumpsters that they don't clean up anyway for their customers. So the bullshit about, well, we can't keep up the restrooms if we're letting everybody use it. You're not keeping it up anyway when you're only allowing your customers to use it. So that's a bullshit, lazy excuse.
Exactly. So let's talk about this article. So a group of city council members wants to see more public restrooms made available throughout the city for people experiencing homelessness and all Chicagoans. So finally, some human dignity. Spearheaded by Aldermen Daniel Espata of the 1st Ward, Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez of the 33rd Ward. 19 older people have signed on the resolution calling for the creation of a city-run pilot program to make more bathrooms accessible throughout Chicago's neighborhoods, which is good. Thank goodness.
Yes, absolutely.
The more that we talked both to residents and those experiencing homelessness and those who have homeless neighbors, it felt like a logical thing that we could do that would improve hygiene for those experiencing really deep needs and also create a better quality of life for all our neighbors, Lapata said. So in October, a Chicago Tribune story found that fewer than 500 structures in the city contain free public restrooms with few or no barriers to entry, such as security checkpoints or client-only access. So let me read that again. Found that fewer than 500 structures in a major metropolis like
Chicago. Big city.
Chicago's a big city. There's no argument here. This is a big city.
A lot of shit flowing through it.
Yeah, so no fewer than 500 structures. That's pretty pathetic. That is pretty sad. Supporters hope that the non-binding resolution will lead to a hearing on the matter in front of City of Chicago and City Council's Health and Human Relations Committee next year. So that's be in 2022. Alderman Laspada said the group is looking into how other cities operate similar programs, which, great. Finally, click, copy, and paste. That's all you got to do.
Why not also offer something to businesses if they introduced an ordinance and said, look, as a business, if you qualify and you show that you're allowing regular people who aren't customers to use your restroom, we'll give you some kind of incentive to do so. I mean, I think that this pilot program is a great idea, but you can even broaden even more so without using more public resources to put it in place by offering some kind of incentives to businesses to allow people to use their restrooms. Let the rest of the public use their restrooms and broaden those utilities.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different models that are pursued by cities in the U.S. Internationally on this. We can see which could work for Chicago, which might work better in other times or places, and look at the different costs of what other cities are doing, he said. Numerous organizations and social service providers working in Chicago have also signed on in support of the resolution. For our neighbors experiencing homelessness, the lack of access to safe and clean restrooms is much more than an inconvenience, said Ted Pezzo, Strategic Partnerships Director at the Knight Ministry, in a press release. It is a matter of human dignity, both personal and public health. But asked about the effort Wednesday, Mayor Lightfoot,
of course,
comment on the resolution.
Of course she would.
Wait. Let me do my Cenk Uygur impression.
I wasn't even trying to do a Cenk Uygur impression, but that is my literal response.
Because there's somebody on Twitter who actually had me at the old studio doing, and of course. Well, hold on. Let me do it. Let me repeat this sentence again with Mayor Lightfoot. Okay. But asked about the effort Wednesday, Mayor Lightfoot declined to comment on the resolution. Of course.
We have to figure out our own inflection on of course. So nobody thinks that we're trying to ape Cenk Uygur. It's the logical response. It's just in how we express it. But she's just completely disengaged from something that is so important. It's like it's beneath her. It's beneath her to even consider how important this is for people throughout the city who don't even have a fucking roof over their heads, let alone a place to go wash their hands or relieve themselves.
Well, gentlemen, check this out, because here's some quotes from Mayor Lightfoot. It's not an issue that's been brought to my attention, Lightfoot said. Here's what I'm focused on every single day. Public safety, pandemic, economic recovery. Obviously, there are other issues of importance and interest, but those are the three issues I wake up thinking about. No, they're not, Mayor Lightfoot. No, they're not. Stop lying.
It's so important. That's all she can focus on. And the fact that that's all she can focus on shows that she doesn't know how to manage the city. If she can't multitask beyond that, that just shows how completely, what a lightweight Lightfoot is.
Lightweight Lightfoot. I love it. Run with
honestly,
it.
Mayor Lightweight.
You know, public safety, I think being able to go to the bathroom is included in that.
Yeah, public safety, go into the bathroom, because let's face it, there's some people who just can't hold it, let's face it, there are senior citizens, disabled people, even little children that have to use a restroom, and look, it's not right. It's not, it has some dignity. So let's, quoting Miguel H., Mayor Lightweight, well done. By the way, Miguel, you still have your homework assignment, making that jigsaw map of the entire city of Chicago with the city district lines. So there you go. I'm expecting that assignment done, good sir. Lasbata said the city can focus on pressing issues while also expanding sanitation services. There is not a Chicagoan out there who hasn't had the occasion where they were in a really difficult spot with the most basic need that all of us have, Lasbata said. I'm not asking for the mayor to turn a spotlight on this tomorrow, but I feel like it's a conversation we deserve to have as a city in 2022.
It's the 21st century. Toilets for everyone.
Exactly. And look, here's the thing. When
Bessie had said, I'm sorry to interrupt Kit Cabello, but Bessie was saying that it's that she hopes that they will add some cow accessible stalls in this plan that they're going to be doing, because sometimes she likes to go on those walks around the city, and when you got to go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. No debate. So yes, of course. But I want to say this too. When I was visiting Japan way back in 2019, early in January of 2020, visiting Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, all these cities had things for their citizens.
They treated their citizens like human beings, Kit. Are you kidding me?
I know.
We're America. We're America. We're the best in the world.
I know. Controversial statement. We were not treating our citizens with any respect whatsoever. So I agree with what we're seeing here. I'm glad that there are 19 aldermen, alder people, to be more specific, alder people who are actually on board with this. So I'm glad that they're doing this. Sadly, Mayor Lightfoot's not going to respond to it, but it's to be expected. So it looks like once again the city is leaderless, and the aldermen have to lead the way. But yeah, good on all the people who are actually in support of this. I'm in support of this, and I hope it comes to fruition in 2022, sooner rather than later. But let's make sure we find something that works and is beneficial to all citizens in this wonderful city.
Can I address something before we go into the next story?
Go ahead.
I just changed the temperature a little because I've got my Christmas leg lamp up and the bulb is warm. That's why I put on the red instead of the blue tonight. So
Ooh,
I think this will be
that's one fancy major award you got.
It is a major
there,
award, and it's fragile too. So
there you go. Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
That's Italian.
All right. All right.
Italian.
All right, we are going to move on now to our next story. Before we do, real quick to our audience members, shout out to Fred Edward, True Democracy Now, Little, Miguel H. Don't forget Miguel H. The assignment.
Boy, you're just hammering that poor guy.
I know. You got.
Was he the one who brought up the fact that it looked like that, and now you gave him that assignment?
I don't remember, but I'm going to say yes.
Probably.
It's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to storm the place. I'm safe. Thank you, though.
Yeah, so it's all good. All right. So, and again, be sure to check out Chicago Corner. We're live every Tuesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please help us build this channel up because 2023 is going to be the city elections. And our goal is to really shine a light on Chicago politics because this is a major city. And there's no way you're going to look me in the eye and tell me that there's nothing happening in our wonderful city, the city of Chicago. So there we go. With that being said, let's talk about another story that has to deal with environmental racism.
But before we get to that story, we need to talk about the wonderful things in this city that are improved greatly by flavor improving mugs.
Delicious.
Mugs that improve flavor.
That's right. Jerry has a Chicago Corner mug.
I've got one of the originals. E. Heller created the new ones that have got the little logo that have 25% more flavorful. But yeah, they're all essentially kind of the same.
Yeah, but they improve the flavor. That's a fact.
They do.
Come on, improves the flavor.
They do. I've never disputed that fact.
There we go. So yes, awesome commercial break.
Here's a quick follow up on the last story that I think is relevant.
Fred Edwards says Amsterdam has street stall urinals, Switzerland full public bathrooms all over the city of Zurich.
I would imagine most of the EU treats their citizens humanely like that, but what do I know? What do we know?
I would expect that too. All right, now let's go and move on to another story. Southside Recycling asks EPA city officials to tour the completed metal shredder ahead of permit decision. So they don't have the permit decision just yet, but they're asking the EPA and city officials to tour it already. So let's find out what's going on. East Side, the parent company of the defunct metal scrapper General Iron, invited city officials to tour its proposed Southside facility this week as the years-long controversy over the scrapper's move to the area nears a resolution. And mind you, again, it's been built on the south side of Chicago. The south side of Chicago is dealing with a lot of environmental racism, a lot of pollution, a lot of industrial facilities. Let's talk about the Mad Asphalt plant that's still operating without a permit that was constructed in 2018. And no one in the state of Illinois, City of Chicago, Cook County informed residents of its construction. Same thing with this little recycling center as well. If Reserve Management Group receives a city permit, the company would operate most of General Iron's assets at Southside Recycling. The proposed facility is at 11600 South Burley Avenue in the East Side. Reserve Management officials asked Mayor Lightfoot, City Health Commissioner Dr. Allison Array, and Michael Reagan, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator, to visit the Southside Recycling in a letter Wednesday. CEO Steve Joseph and Chief Operating Officer Hal Torlin sent the letter days after Array announced a permit decision is expected by the end of January. In spite of the significant negative attention that media has given the story, none of you have felt it necessary to actually visit our facility, Joseph and Torlin wrote. We hope that each of you will finally take the time to come see what we have built so that we might be granted a fair chance to set the record straight. Mayor Lightfoot, paused the permit process in May after Reagan said the Southside recycling plans raised significant civil rights concerns and urged the city to analyze health impacts of the scrapper's operations. 2 community meetings have been held since November 4th to explain the health analysis and gather more input from residents. A final meeting is set for January of 2022. The health department promised to provide more notice and clarity for the upcoming session. Schedule and venue changes before last week's meeting caused confusion and challenges for attendees, a spokesperson said. Officials have not responded to the company's previous request to give a tour of the site, spokesperson Randall Sembroni said. He cited a June Twitter thread and several direct written and indirect verbal invitations to Array and her staff. The EPA has received the letter and will respond accordingly, spokesperson Timothy Carroll said. Reagan toured the South Side in May while in Chicago to meet with politicians and community leaders. The agency's investigation into the Illinois EPA's approval of the South Side recycling plans is suspended pending mediation. Carroll declined to provide updates on mediation discussions. Senior Health Department staff have toured Southside Recycling as part of the city's health analysis. Spokesperson James Selinsky said he did not answer whether Arati herself would tour before a permit decision is made, nor clarify, aside from the analysis, remains to be done in order to complete a permit review. A spokesperson for Lightfoot did not respond to a request for a comment as
what a shock.
Time. What a shock there.
They don't respond to anything. Just like they're MIA on everything. Every major thing that's happening. No comment. We're not here. Put up a little.
We're not here at all.
It's like when Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion went to the Emerald City, and the guy in the door is just like, no, we're not home. We're just shutting you out.
Yeah, we're not home. Like, dude, if you're not home, why'd you answer the door?
Yeah.
Come on, open up. So, anyways, but I digress. Here's something I want to bring up before we continue on with the article. This is a facility that was moved to the South Side. Why is it that the South Side, East Side, West Side of Chicago is constantly being contaminated?
Because North Siders don't like pollution, and because the North Side neighborhoods are primarily what, Kit? White.
Yes, but what I want to say to our fellow North Siders, our brothers and sisters in the North Side, what impacts the South Side of Chicago and the West Side of Chicago will also impact you.
Ultimately,
no need to wait. It's already in your air. The pollution's already in your air. It's already in your water. Like, as one city, what a sight it would be if all Chicagoans stood up and said, "Hey, stop polluting our communities. Stop polluting our water. Stop polluting our air." I don't know. What a sight it would be. I mean, if this city ever united as one. And there was one time, I would say, and it's a joke at this point, when the city was all together, and was when people were looking for Chance the Snapper, that alligator that was in Humboldt Park. And this whole city lost its freaking mind, but everyone united around it. Wouldn't it be a sight if this city united around, like, stopping environmental racism? I mean, what a sight that would be. But again, I guess I'm a dreamer, and I have the audacity of hope. So
the thing is, though, Kit, what people can't normally see, they will not pay attention to, which is why the story coming out of this neighborhood is so important for residents all over the city to listen to and pay attention to and rise up against, because that bad air is not just going to stay in one place. I mean, it's already polluting the rest of the city, just not in the same toxic amounts, but ultimately it's going to cause illness. It's going to cause all kinds of respiratory issues elsewhere. And it's just that they've been allowed to operate this way for so long. It's surreal.
Yeah. So I want to read actually something that's very interesting in this article. Alderman Susan Selansky Garza, 10th Ward, texted Lightfoot in April of 2020 that the Southside recycling critics don't play with others, so F them. According to the Chicago Tribune, our wonderful Mayor Lightfoot, responded that she is riding with Selansky Garza till the end. So she's on board with this.
This has nothing to do with protecting the citizens across the city. This has to do with mean girls in City Hall texting back and forth with each other, is drunk on their own power, is what it is. They're drunk on their own power.
Agreed. So more than 1,300 supporters co-signed RMG's letter, including company employees and others in the recycling and waste management industry, Sobran said. Sobran did not share how many signatures were from the Southsiders or Chicagoans, nor their affiliations with companies or organizations aside from the Reserve Management Group. Oh, wow, so a one-sided petition. There are numerous other businesses represented here, Sobran said. They include individual suppliers, middlemen, brokers of metal recyclables that are vendors and suppliers to this operation who are feeling the economic consequences of the depressed metal market in Chicago from the lack of competition. Southsiders have filed federal civil rights complaints, pressured city officials, and held numerous rallies and protests in an effort to block Southside Recycling's operations. 4 activists were arrested, cited, and released last Friday as dozens marched in heavy rain to demand the permit's denial. Residents also held a month-long hunger strike against Southside Recycling earlier this year. Mayor Lightfoot, you got people going on a hunger strike at this point. What's going on, Mayor? Why are you okay? I guess you're okay with this because, you just don't care. You're drunk on power.
She's a piece of shit. Sorry.
Two two members of the Chicago Board of Health called on Ardway and the city to deny the operating permit at a board meeting Wednesday. They are Carmen Verga, Chief Operating Officer of Espeza Health Centers, and Dr. Stephen Rothschild, Family Medical Chair at Rush University Medical Center. I know the health department is robustly committed to equity and environmental justice, said Rothschild, who, alongside hundreds of individuals and advocacy groups, signed a letter in March demanding the permit's denial. But individual decisions do matter. I really want to put my voice out there and say I hope that we will find a way to seek an alternative and block this approval. Southside Recycling is already built on Reserve Management Group's Burley Avenue campus and has been ready to open since earlier this year, Sabern said. Reserve Management Group owns 4 recycling facilities at the same site. Federal and county judges have dismissed lawsuits from Reserve Management Group seeking to force the city to issue Southside Recycling's permit. The company is appealing the county court's ruling, Sabern said. City officials allowed the company to construct the facility before receiving a permit. So wait, the city allowed its construction before the permit was received. Usually you should get the permit and then do the construction.
That's not how it works these days, Kit, when you've got the corporations and businesses running things.
So Reserve Management Group leaders said they spent $80 million on upgrades and construction, expecting to gain approval. Southside Recycling has applied twice for permit. Health Department guidelines say the city will decide on recycling facilities application with 60 days after the application is posted online. It's been 13 months since Southside Recycling initialed the application, which the city rejected as incomplete, and 11 months since the facility's second attempt. So, Mayor Lightfoot, once again, turning a blind eye to environmental racism. And yet she ran on she had a campaign where she was talking about strengthening the Chicago EPA. Yeah. How's that turning out?
Kit, I don't have the patience for decorum anymore. Really, when I let loose and my filter's off, it's because we've been patient for far too long by these elected representatives who claim that they are leaders, not leading and not protecting, not just doing the business that's right by citizens of Chicago, but she is abdicating her responsibility and privilege, protecting the citizens of Chicago, doing something here. And, quite frankly, when I say I lose patience for decorum, it's why, I'd say she's a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. These people they don't have the citizens' interests in mind. Why do we have to be respectful of these people anymore, who have obviously no respect for the citizens who are begging, pleading, depending on leadership to protect and keep everybody safe?
Agreed.
I can't handle it sometimes.
Yeah. Don't worry, 2023 is going to be very interesting for us all because we'll be covering that election, and I'm waiting to see what excuses Lightfoot is going to bring up. So there we go. With that being said,
people are going to hold their feet to the fire. I mean, look, there's a litany of history for these past 4 years that they're going to hold her up to, and I do think that she's going to be arrogant enough to run again. And I think I hope it's not going to happen, but what I perceive is going to happen is, once again, like the last election cycle, she's going to be the one that we have to do this and pull the lever for, because the rest of the clown car is going to be probably even more unacceptable than she is. Or people just aren't going to come out to vote because they realize or they feel that their votes don't matter anymore. Because even when everyone does exercise their option to vote, we just get people who lie, go in there, bamboozle us and pull the same shit over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. By the way, Big Mr. Firebird says Oreo for mayor. There we go. I think Oreo probably has better policies.
Next to me over here.
All right, Oreo down in the background. Okay, there we go. All right, with that being said, we're going to move on now to our last two stories. And Jerry, I think it's very fair that we end Chicago Corner on some good notes. So what's going on your end?
Well, I found this story as you were compiling show notes and stories you wanted to cover, and I felt like this was important to cover because, it speaks to the change that we're all hoping will happen. So this is, I think that this is a bit of an inspirational story. We'll see how things transpire as things develop further. But let me open this up here. There we go. Thank you, E. Heller. Uptown affordable housing developments for women who are homeless, low-income seniors get city approval. Separate housing developments for women facing homelessness at an affordable senior apartment building in Uptown were given the okay from a city commission. Now, wow, in the cesspool of bad news, here's some good news. And this comes to us from Joe Ward at Block Club Chicago. Housing for women experiencing homelessness and low-income older people received approval by the city Thursday to be built in Uptown. The city's plan commission gave a final approval to 2 plans. Actually, I'm going to let me bring up the because there were actually some renditions of what we're going to be seeing here. So let me share my screen here before I continue on with the story. Here we go. The city's plan commission gave final approval to 2 plans for affordable housing developments in Uptown, paving the way for 101 new affordable units in the neighborhood. One of the developments will bring a 28-unit apartment building for women experiencing homelessness to 4737 North Sheridan Road. The other will turn a vacant parcel at 835 West Wilson Avenue into a 73-unit apartment complex for older people. These are really good steps in the right direction, although we know that there is so much empty housing that otherwise exists in Uptown that, you know, could be renovated and restored to serve this purpose before they do all of this new development. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth here, but like I said, it's a step in the right direction. Each project needed approval under the city's lakefront protection ordinance, an extra layer of development scrutiny for projects near the lake. That approval was granted Thursday by the Plan Commission, and we see the 2 developments pictured on screen here. Uptown-based nonprofit Sarah's Circle received final approval for its plans to build 28 units of permanent housing for women experiencing homelessness at the aforementioned address on Sheridan Road. The 5-story building will include 28 studio apartments and office space for Sarah's Circle employees. It will have a meeting space, a demonstration kitchen, and other program space for residents. Sarah's Circle works to end homelessness for women. This will be the nonprofit's 3rd housing project in Uptown. Last year, it opened a building at Sheridan Road and Leland Avenue that houses a 50-bed interim shelter and 38 apartments. Seeking more apartments for women, Sarah's Circle bought the parking lot at 4737 North Sheridan Road for its latest project. The $16 million project will be funded several ways, including with a $3 million payment from the developer of a controversial apartment building coming to a Weiss Hospital parking lot. The payment made to Sarah's Circle allowed the Weiss developer to buy out 75% of its affordable housing requirement, and city officials sought to route the payment to Sarah's Circle. Some members of the public at the Plan Commission meeting blasted the funding mechanism and said the Weiss development will further gentrification in Uptown. City officials, including Alderman James Kappelman, 46, said the payment allows for more affordable housing in a neighborhood that's attracting much market rate development. It takes a lot of work to pull all the financing together for affordable housing, Kappelman said. Well, all right, let me do a little side note here. This is a guy who's been shutting down affordable housing throughout his 10 years alderman of that ward, and basically chasing homeless people out and not affording them opportunities. Again, step in the right direction, but for Kappelman to come out here now and act like he's, you know, all for this, I guess we're going to have to watch this story and see, you know, that the people are actually homeless people are actually being benefited from these new developments. And I'm wondering who's also, you know, making the money from these new developments. So let's move on to senior living. Bryn Shore Development's plan to build a 73-unit affordable apartment building for older people got final approval from the Plan Commission. Bryn Shore is also the development partner in the Sarah's Circle project. The project will turn a vacant lot at 835 West Wilson Avenue into a 6-story apartment complex with 10 studios, 49 one-bedroom and 14 two-bedroom apartments. There will be 44 parking spaces and a resident roof deck connected to a second-floor community room among the amenities. So, Kit, as I'm reading this, okay, I brought this story to our attention because I do, again, think it's a step in the right direction, right? Mm-hmm. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, there's so many empty shells in Uptown. There's so many existing structures, buildings that I wonder and imagine could potentially cost a lot less to renovate and restore than all of this new development that looks really, really nice. And the cynical part of myself wonders, are these new structures going to serve a purpose for a brief term until suddenly more gentrification throughout Uptown absorbs them and they suddenly don't become, or they don't stay, the affordable housing that they're proposed right now as they're being built? Mm-hmm. Am I being too cynical to perhaps feel that could potentially creep into the picture? I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. But when you think of all of the empty housing that's already in Uptown, and we're looking at the millions and millions of dollars that's going to pay to build these new structures. We know that some people are going to be enriched by the money that goes into building these new structures as opposed to restoring and renovating structures that are already there. They could probably help people much faster.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
At this point, we should have been investing into social programs to help out working class citizens way early on before Mayor Lightfoot or Rahm Emanuel. We've had a city government that has had access to the TIF funds. We could be doing this for all the city of Chicago. And there's a growing homelessness crisis in this city.
Yep.
And our elected officials have allowed to continue on. And only there's been a handful of representatives here in our city that actually give a damn and are well aware of the homelessness crisis. But yet, I think this looks like a good idea, and we'll follow this story. But
yeah,
for some reason, it seems like a half measure.
Yeah. And let me get to the last two paragraphs here too. The 100% affordable housing development would earmark 20 units for households making at or below 30% of the area median income, $19,600 for a one-person household. 34 units for households making at or below 50% of the area median income, $32,600, and 19 units for households making at or below 80% median income, $52,500. Affordable housing. I'm not seeing a whole lot for those that can't find housing anywhere who aren't working. Now, here's the paragraph that is what kind of like makes my brain start to spin in the directions I was sharing previously. The $42 million development will be primarily funded by the Illinois Housing Development Authority, okay, though some financing will come from the Lakeview Towers, the association-run affordable apartment complex at 455 North Clarendon Avenue. So there's some privatization involved in some of this. That's what I'm just, as you said, it does seem like a half measure. The partnership between the Senior Center and Lakeview Towers will allow renters to age out of one affordable home and into another that's just around the block, Kappelman said. It really is a win for everyone, he said. Well, I hope it is. And as you said, we will monitor this as this story further develops.
Mm-hmm. As we should. And,
all right,
so let's go and move on to the next story.
Go to the next story. So, 'twas the week before Christmas. Do you realize we're 1 week out from Christmas Eve?
Oh my goodness!
Our next Chicago corner, we got one more broadcast on Tuesday, and then we got our Christmas Eve broadcast, which led me to thinking tonight, since I'm stuck at home, and I'm finally able to get on camera and manage myself. I think we're going to have a special Christmas Eve Chicago corner broadcast, which won't be as much stories. It might be just opening up the live chat for everybody, bringing people together who might be at home by themselves, sharing some fellowship and community. Since I'll be stuck at home, it will be like a virtual Christmas party is what I'm thinking we're going to do for next Friday. So
sounds like a plan.
As I found this story, it just struck me that we're a week out from Christmas Eve, because this story shares how you can help buy gifts for 1,000 Englewood kids this Christmas. Servants for Hope. Actually, let me bring up the screen here. And this comes to us from Atavia Reed at Block Club Chicago again. Servants for Hope, founded by Englewood native Deontay Tanner, hopes to raise $20,000 to serve families in the community for Christmas. Now, this story broke today, which means there's still time left to participate and contribute to this effort. This is from Englewood. An Englewood native needs a little help from the community to reach his goal of buying Christmas presents and essentials for hundreds of Southside children. Servants for Hope, a nonprofit that serves low-income families and marginalized communities by, quote-unquote, changing the narrative, will hold its 6th annual holiday giveaway 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday at 63rd and Justine Streets. That's farther south than the studio is, but 99 Perspectives is on Justine, isn't it, up north?
99 Perspectives by Justine, yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is farther south at 63rd. But this event is 63rd and Justine Streets tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Families can go to pick up wrapped presents. Parents and guardians can register for the event by texting HOPE, H-O-P-E, at 844-519-0137. And this is all linked in our show notes below in the description box. Registered families will receive toys and essentials first. after Tanner exceeded his goal for his annual turkey drive. Oh, I think we reported on that last month. He applied the extra funds towards the holiday presents, but he's about $3,000 short of reaching his Christmas goal, he said. This year, he aims to raise $20,000 and buy presents for 1,000 kids in the community. You can donate here, and there's a link at the story there.
Good. Well, I'm glad. Sorry, continue on.
Okay. Donations of money help founder Deontay Tanner fulfill gift wish lists for families who sign up. The presents, ranging from sports items to books and coats, are all geared to encourage cognitive development, Tanner said. Although I love what I do for Thanksgiving, Christmas is drastically different for me, Tanner said. When I think about the struggles that I had growing up in Englewood, like not knowing if I would wake up on Christmas Day with toys or a tree, it meant the world to me to know that I can provide a sigh of relief for some parents. And when I look at the kids' faces and they're smiling and happy, that's a great moment for me. This guy just reflects so much of some of how I feel and what I was trying to do with our holiday fundraiser. So I'm glad that someone's successful at it. Tanner's first giveaway was in 2016, 3 weeks before the holiday. With the help of his two best friends, Tanner raised $1,000 for presents for families in his community on Christmas Day. Families came in and out of his mother's home to grab gifts. It all started at my mom's house as an idea about wanting to do something special for a family, Tanner said, and then it turned into this whole idea of a giveaway right inside my mom's living room. Every year, Tanner's been able to scale up the giveaway to serve more families. These days, he's known for closing down aisles in stores to grab gifts for the kids. It's all possible through donations, he said. Knowing that we're alleviating the financial burden for families and providing hope for the community is always what I aspire to do, Tanner said. The holidays should be about the children and everyone coming together as a village. I like to look at myself as a small vessel. I'm looking forward to putting smiles on at least 1,000 kids' faces. That's something I'll take with me and remember forever. So, cheers to Deontay Tanner.
Cheers to him, indeed.
His efforts in the South Side here with this fantastic initiative, and people can participate tomorrow. I believe that they said from 9 to 1 at 63rd and Justine, and there's a link in the story, or a link in the show notes below in the description box here if you want to find out more about that.
And the thing is, like, it goes back to what I said. There are good people in Gotham, Chicago. There are good people in Hell's Reach, Chicago.
Pretty much.
And there are. And so,
there's one of them. There's one of them, Deontay Tanner.
There's one of them. But there are more people like him in this city. One of many unsung heroes in the city of Chicago. And I'm glad that we're at least ending it on a good note. But, by the way, Big Mr. Firebird says, I'm working over at Christmas, and I'll miss the live show. Damn. It's okay. You could check it out when we're done, and you could pretend.
We'll only be on for an hour Christmas Eve, so whenever somebody gets, might not be able to participate in the live chat, as we'd love you to, but you can experience the Christmas cheer afterwards. I have to figure out some things we can do for the show, because I think what I want to do is like make it an interactive. It's like everybody who's participating in the live chat, we can all. It's just like it'll be like a virtual Christmas Eve party.
And Pegleg, you know what? I think this is a good segue to show. You know what would be a great Christmas present? Some Chicago merch for Chicago Corner.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But before we get to that, I have to report an absolute tragedy. It's a Pizza Friday tragedy.
What happened?
Here it is.
Oh, my God.
Tweeted from Leila Rahimi.
Oh, no.
She says, I found the person having the worst day today. Now,
and...
Dude, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
That is a tragedy. Oh my God!
The only positive would be if someone in this vicinity is hungry. I think, what does that look like? O'Callahan's there in the background. That's gotta be Hubbard.
That looks.
Maybe
painful.
if you run over there, it might still be warm.
Maybe.
That just looks so painful. What a waste. Now you've got me thinking about what I'm gonna where I'm gonna go forage for dinner after the show's over with.
Oh, and we have a breaking follow-up on this story here.
What happened?
We know whose pizza it was.
Uh-oh.
Chicago Party On. Chicago Party On. I've hung out with you so many times. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Who is that? I don't know. Chicago Party On.
Chicago Party Aunt. She's basically the staple aunt of Chicago. She does everything and most everybody, and she's been around, but she's a heck of a girl, and I love to hang out with that person.
Yeah, she's got a heart of gold. So there we go.
And
So
somehow she got a fantastic Netflix deal.
yeah, so there you go. Awesome for her too. So nonetheless, by the way, maybe for some Chicago presents, maybe people should check out the Chicago merch. Should show that for like the Christmas store, so everyone is ready. And by the way, War Deer Entertainment, I still haven't forgotten. You're for New York pizza. That was violence right there. That was violence, good sir.
We've still got our, for what it's worth, we've still got our Chicago Corner fundraiser over at 99perspectives.tv/Chicago Corner. You can see in the ticker tape below, we were also trying to raise money for the Night Ministry. So if anybody still wants to participate in that, your money will go towards a good cause over at the Night Ministry, helping feed, clothe, and house people across the city.
Let's actually pull that up. Can we actually pull up that image?
I was going to try to bring it up, but my keyboard invariably fails on me when I've got too many Bluetooth devices going on. I can't type in the Chicago.
1 second,
you got it?
and I'll see if I can get it up here.
All right, let's try and pull that up.
That's what she said.
Yes, speaking of Chicago party ant, I can't. You know how hard it is for a ghost to type. It's like I'm half here, I'm half not here. And
well, I would imagine your fingers also kind of go through the keyboard.
Yes, because I gotta concentrate really hard.
You're transparent.
99perspectives.tv.
And then you just click on Chicago Corner.
How do you spell Chicago? All right.
Click on the masthead once you get there. Make it easy.
Chicago Corner.
Here we go.
I can't even type today.
Oh.
Here it is.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Good. Great. Fantastic.
Golden.
There you go. There's the fundraiser.
There we go. Awesome.
Yes, I'm okay with cookies. Cookies are fantastic.
Now, there are links there also where you can donate directly to the Night Ministry, support Toys for Tots, although by next Christmas Eve, I think they've already done with their collection efforts because they're going to be spending the next week delivering toys to kids. But certainly go check them out, donate to a food bank, or you can find mutual aid near you if you yourself are in need. But the whole fundraiser we were doing was if you donate through our Chicago Corner fundraiser, your funds will go to the Night Ministry, and I was going to send you a free movie, CD, or poster. So yeah, that's still going on if you're so. Oh no, I just thought of something. Oh, maybe I'll run my movie part of next week's show if people are interested. It does take place on Christmas Eve. That might be a way to fill time. But still,
like fun.
That could be fun too. That could be a possibility. So yeah, please donate. You can donate directly through those links, or donate and get a free gift yourself. And I appreciate everybody for looking at that and considering it. I hope that we can spread some goodwill here by directing people towards these charitable causes.
As it should be done. So there we go. With that being said, I'm going to close it up. I want to thank my colleagues for joining me as guest co-hosts, because I'm the captain. I am the captain of the ship until Jerry takes full command.
Well, at this point, sir, permission to regain command of the show for next week?
Permission granted.
Awesome. That's such a cool Star Trek moment.
Permission granted.
Now, of course,
Granted.
you will, depending on your schedule, you will also be invited to come back on board
of course.
Anytime you want.
Absolutely.
I just wanted permission of the helm is what I was requesting. So thank you.
There you go. Well,
appreciate
the
that.
Starship Chicago Corner is now back in your command then. And it's good to know. So there we go. So I wanted to say to everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And I think, Jerry, why don't you give us your closing words about, and since it's only fair that you're back at being captain.
Yeah, since I'm back to being captain, thank you. And thank you, E. Heller in the background, as well as Pegleg, who's at the forefront. Thank you, Kit, for helping cover things these past couple of weeks. I couldn't put a shirt on to come on the show while I was healing up. And to everybody out there, we'll be back for next week before Christmas. Please take care of yourselves. Be careful. Have a safe weekend. And remember, if it's happening on the streets, you'll hear about it here on Chicago Corner. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, everyone.